Okay, welcome. And I'm starting, as always, a little bit earlier just to check if everything works. And I did put my headphones because we have a bird here, a budgie, was really loud. So that's why. So let me check if this works. And I'm gonna hit also go live on Instagram. Okay, wonderful. We are live on Instagram, and I'm gonna also check YouTube if we are live. YouTube. Okay, wonderful. And today, welcome. If you're new here, I'm Hannah. I'm a mom of four, most importantly, and I'm also certified eating psychology coach. I'm also newly certified medicinal herb farmer and professional wildcrafter. And I'm also a member of Lipid Vitality Collective. If you are following us on Facebook, if you're watching our lives on Mondays, then thank you, because we definitely want to inspire healthy living around the world. So make sure you share all our videos. We are also newly on YouTube. We started a channel there. And when you want to find out more about me, or if you want to book a session with me for either for eating psychology or health coaching, you can find me at moonatic.fr, like in France, because I'm going to be talking today about lunar gardening on our farm in Provence, France, where we live since 2006. So we just celebrated our 18th anniversary. So let's get started because I want to honor everyone's time, and I'm as always too early better, like too late. So we're gonna start. So again, welcome. If you're new here, I'm Hannah. I'm originally from Slovakia, but we lived here in the south of France for 18 years now. And today I'm going to share about our farm in the south of France. We bought the farm. It's going to be 6 years. We are here. Yeah, we're going to celebrate again our anniversary when it comes to buying the farm. And I'm going to share about lunar gardening, biodynamics. I'm going to share about herbal growing herbs, and it's going to be super interesting. And then if you are watching this live, you're going to get my new course, Power of the Moon, completely for free. If you're watching this on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Instagram, just drop into the comment that you're watching this live. And I can see that. So if you're watching this on replay, then that's great. And I'm going to put a link to my Power of the Moon course under this video. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen, and you're going to see a couple of slides here. Lunar gardening. What is gardening according to the moon? It's exactly what it sounds like, okay? It's gardening according to the moon phases, and it's been practiced for millennia, or even not really for millennia, because we don't have sources for that. History teacher in me is saying that, but we can definitely know that as soon as humans began to work the soil and they started growing during the Neolithic Revolution, they followed the planets and the moon. Okay, so we know that they've been practicing like this for thousands of years. So you can see here, and you can maybe hear the budgie. So that's why I have my headphones on. You can see here our farm. Again, it's been built in 1863, so that's a long time ago. And it's located in the south of France. In Provence, we love it here. As I mentioned, we came in 2006. What you can see is the kitchen. That part is renovated. We are still renovating. Couple of rooms here. And maybe in the future we're gonna organize retreats, yoga retreats, and healthy eating retreats, because as I mentioned, I'm also a certified eating psychology coach. So in the middle you can see me. That was the last year's strawberry harvest. And what you can see on the right, this is my moon garden, and I'm going to share a little bit more about moon garden, creating your own moon garden, and I'm also going to be sharing about books which you can check out later. Okay, so moon gardening is really the basics of biodynamic gardening, as well as companion planting. Companion planting is really growing plants in order to help other plants. So I'm sure if you're gardening, you know the classical example of basil that is planted to help repel bugs on tomatoes, okay? And there are many examples like that. Here what you can see, this is harvest, last year's harvest or the year before. I'm transitioning from growing veggies actually, to growing herbs and fruit, because we have a wonderful farmer, our neighbor, who is growing amazing veggies. So I told myself I will not do that, because his veggies are so amazing, and you can get them like in a vending machine. Seriously, he has a vending machine with fruits and veggies. I mean, if those would be in every school, that would be amazing. But we are still growing. We have around 100 of fruit trees and olive trees and nut trees, and I'm growing more herbs right now, including garlic, because garlic is a wonderful remedy and medicinal plant. So let's look, and I don't know if you can see this. Maybe we can make it a little bit larger. Okay, so we know that soil quality is really, really important, right? We know that sunshine is important. Plants need at least 6 hours of sun, okay? Or light, depending on the plant, of course. Those are all important, but some gardeners prefer to add just a little bit into the mix, and that is lunar gardening, okay? So as I mentioned, the practice began thousands of years ago, because the Neolithic farmers really were following the cycle of the moon and the planets, and they were really connected to nature, okay? And then in the beginning of the 20th century, lunar phase gardening or lunar gardening became one of the guiding principles for biodynamic gardening. I'm sure everybody knows Rudolf Steiner. And if not, then you can check him out. And I definitely recommend everyone to get a lunar gardening calendar. I'm using this one, which is French, because I'm in France, and it's I'm going to talk about root, leaf, and so on, flower days. It really depends on the region or country where you're in. So I prefer French calendar, lunar calendar, but there is a wonderful, wonderful biodynamic calendar of Maria Thun. This is really like a Bible for all biodynamic gardeners. So I definitely recommend those. And I did put a list of all these books in my new course, Power of the Moon. So I'm going to put a link under this video. You can definitely check it out, sign up. And it's a wonderful course. And really, I love lunar gardening and talking about that. So in that course, we don't talk only about lunar gardening. I talk about moon and physiology. So really, what are the best times to exercise, for example? What food, according to the moon phase, should you eat? We talk about moon and beauty, of course. So I offer tips how, according to the moon phases, how you can elevate your skin routine. So it's really a great course. So Neolithic farmers figured out what are the best days to plant, to trim plants, because really we got so disconnected from nature that we don't even see the moon in the sky. We don't know what cycle we are in right now, and I feel that it's really, really a shame. So let's move on. So the basic principles, and again, you don't have to learn this by heart because those biodynamic or lunar calendars, they are readily available anywhere where books are found, or even in gardening center. I found this in our gardening center. So you don't have to learn all of this. You just basically follow, it tells you this is the day to do this and that in the garden. So you just go and follow the calendar. So you don't have to know all this. But I think that in order to be more connected to nature, we really need to know at least the basics. Okay, so we know that there are 4 elements in nature, right? It's air, fire, water, and earth. Some religions or spiritual circles add another element, spirit, but in gardening, we just talk about those 4 elements, okay? And it comes really intuitive to think about carrot as a root plant because it's in the earth, right? So we divide really plants into 4 groups: root plants, leaf plants, flower plants, and fruit plants. Really easy, intuitive. Okay, so root plants, carrots, for example, or potatoes. Leaf plants, water, okay, because they are full of water, the leaves. Lettuce, spinach, okay. Flower plants, of course, it's the air, okay. So it's flowers, basically. And fruit plants, we know that tomatoes need warmth, okay, to ripen. So they are connected to the element of fire. And we know the moon travels through all 12 zodiac signs, okay, within the month. So really every plant is connected not only to the planet, that would be too difficult right now. So I'm gonna only talk about plants connected to zodiac signs. And again, intuitively, we know that zodiac signs, Virgo, Capricorn and Taurus are really connected to Earth. My husband is a Capricorn. He's really down to earth. Everything is organized. Everything must be just so. And if you have a friend who's Virgo, you know that they're like time management gurus. So root, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. Leaf, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. We have all three in our family, so there's a lot of water in our family. And leaf plants are connected to these three zodiac signs, okay? Like lettuce, spinach, cabbage, okay? Flower plants flower plants are connected to Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. My daughter is a Gemini, and she's like really airy, talkative, doesn't stop talking. So yeah, you can really make the connection between these different elements and plants, okay? And fruit and seed is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These are really fiery, fire energy. And really, when you look at the lunar calendar, you can see that moon goes through all those signs, okay? So every 2.5 days, basically, the zodiac sign changes. So we know that the growth of all garden and farm plants is enhanced when we follow these cycles, okay? So, for example, if we want to sow, if you want to transplant, it's really great to follow these cycles, because you're going to see in your garden that it simply works. We've been practicing it for 6 years here on our farm, and I've been practicing it in the garden before that, which we had here in France again. And now a very important question, because I hear this very often. People confuse or confound, and they are confused. What is waxing and waning moon, and what is ascending and descending moon, okay? They don't correspond. So I know many people like, I'm gonna gather blah 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 because it's the waxing moon. In lunar gardening, we follow more ascending and descending moon because it's really the ascending of sap in the plant and then descending of sap in the plant, okay? So let me explain. From when it comes to sun, from midwinter or winter solstice to midsummer or summer solstice, the sun rises in the sky, and we can really like see it, summer solstice, and then it rises and rises until the summer solstice, and then it descend, okay? So sunspot across the sky ascends higher and higher, okay? And from midsummer or summer solstice until the winter solstice, it's descending, okay? So that's sun, and that's annual ascending and descending. When it comes to the moon, as I said, it's within 1 month, because it follows the same path around the zodiac, but instead of taking a year, it only takes a month or 27.5 days to complete the cycle, okay? So this means that the moon will ascend for 14 days and it will descend for 14 days. I know it sounds complicated, but when you start working with the moon and with the moon phases, it really becomes like a no-brainer, okay? Because you understand that, the sap is ascending in the plant, okay? It will move in the upper part, okay? It will give the upper part the vitality, and for example, fruit, if you harvest fruit during this period, it it will stay longer for, it will stay fresh for a longer time. Okay, so for example, during the harvest season, August and September, if you have an ascending moon, and if you gather fruit or harvest fruit during this period, it will have a much longer shelf life. Okay. And you can see a couple here from our garden, like the fig tart and strawberries, chili peppers, zucchini. So really harvesting during the ascending time or ascending cycle is really the best. Now, when it comes to descending moon, it's really when the sap and vitality go to the roots. And for example, I root harvesting during the September. I just started harvested roots yesterday, and I will continue because this is the season of descending moon. Okay, those 14 days of descending moon, harvesting harvesting roots. They're gonna have really the most. They're gonna be the most potent as a medicine. I'm gonna, excuse me, I'm gonna then share, because there's the root of dandelion, I'm gonna share a little bit more about my herbal plants. But really, it's a no-brainer. Ascending sap is flowing into the plant, up, descending, it's going to the roots, okay? And descending time is really known as transplanting time. So if you have in your garden, if you have plants that you need to move from one to another location, do it during the descending time, okay? And again, I'm repeating it all the time, like the ascending and descending moon does not correspond with waxing and waning moon, okay? Because that's where people get stuck. Like, I don't understand that. It doesn't correspond. It is true that wonderful, like you're gonna have really good seedlings if you sow your seeds a couple of days before the full moon. Okay, so that's really one thing to remember. And that's really not about ascending, descending, it's about sowing seeds, okay? But I'm sure I'm gonna do this webinar in spring because there is so much information really to be told. So let's move on, and this is the last slide again because I want to honor everybody's time, and the webinars normally take only half an hour, so it's not too long or too short, and with all that information you can basically digest it. So moon and foraging, as I mentioned, I'm certified professional wildcrafter. And here you can see my kids harvesting, foraging for mushrooms and foraging for wild raspberries. This is my youngest one, like a couple of years ago. And then you can see there are also bitters, which I do when it comes to herbs, because wild plants are also affected by the flow of the lunar cycle. What is not affected are things like aeroponic gardening. If you've been following me, you know that I share so much about the tower gardening because I really love that indoor gardening system, but it is not affected by the power of the moon, okay? So you can harvest from your tower whenever you want to because it grows faster. You can grow on the tower during the winter, but it doesn't, because it's not, those plants are not in the soil. So for now, we're gonna talk about moon and foraging and wild plants, and I'm gonna share a little bit more about the tower garden in the end. So wild plants, again, are affected, just like the plants planted in your garden. And I'm sure that you have a neighbor, an old neighbor, or somebody who knows when to go to hunt or hunt also, because they are, this is used also for hunting. Our neighbor is a hunter, but also for foraging for mushrooms. So there are really best times to go to forage for mushrooms. Okay, so plants and the soil have more water moisture during the ascending moon and waxing moon as well. Just check your lunar calendars. So really knowing where the moon is really wonderful and practical if you want to go forage. Okay, as I mentioned, if you want to go harvest roots, wild roots. Okay, although I don't recommend it if you don't know exactly what you're doing, because the wild plants are really over harvested. So only harvest plants, first of all, which you know. And if you are knowledgeable about the sustainability of your harvesting. Okay. Um, so all this you can find in my course, Power of the Moon. If you've been watching this live, shoot me a message or drop a comment that you're watching this live and you want to have the Power of the Moon course, and I'm going to send it to you. And I'm going to also share two books which are really great. This is such a simple, wonderful book about biodynamic gardening. And again, it explains wonderfully root days, leaf days, fruit days, and it's really great. So I still use it even after years of working in the garden according to the moon, but I still use that because it's a great book. And also, if you want to create your own moon garden, this is a wonderful book, Moon Garden. And it really tells you about plants which you can utilize in your moon garden. And it can be an indoor moon garden. And basically, these are plants which have white flowers most often, because especially for people who are so busy every single day and they want to enjoy their garden in the evening. So there are special plants which you can plant and which have these beautiful white flowers, like jasmine, for example, which are connected to the moon, because again, every flower is and every plant is connected to a particular planet, and it's used for healing as well. But I'm not going to go into that topic, maybe next time, because it's again a huge topic. I'm just going to talk about my new herbal blend, which is called l'automne, and it's basically fall in English, or autumn. And I use dandelion root. I know so many people. Let me remove this from stage. And I know so many people, use pesticides, herbicides on their lawns because they don't want to have those dandelions on their lawns. But I just have to say that dandelion is a wonderful plant in spring when you use those beautiful new leaves in your salads, for example, or in your smoothies. And dandelion root is harvested during the autumn and during the ascending moon, as you could find out during this presentation. And I'm using dandelion root together with some other plants, and you can find the link to my shop. I'm going to put a link under this video. Okay, so that was all for today, and it's been all told in half an hour, which is great because I want to honor everybody's time. So if you like what you're seeing, then definitely go and sign up for my Power of the Moon course, because you're going to find out much more about moon and physiology, beauty, business even. I love business astrology. So yeah, I'm gonna put links under this and definitely share this video for people who'd be interested. Okay, so take care everyone and see you again next time. Bye.